Erin Spinagle here today at Berkeley Heights Elementary. Join me today as we learn about some of the teachers here at the home of the pioneers on this edition of Be the Difference, West Virginia. We're here with Amber King. She teaches kindergarten here at Berkeley Heights. Hi Amber, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Amber King. I teach kindergarten here at Berkeley Heights Elementary. I've been here now for 15 years. Previously, I taught 1 year at Risa 8 Head Start. I have 2 children, a daughter and a son, a 3rd grader and a kindergarten. And I am married and I live here in Martinsburg. I went to Musselman High School, and so I'm a local, yes.
So what made you decide to become a teacher?
Well, initially, I began my college career at Shepherd as a nursing major, and my mother is in the school system. She's a classroom aide, and she was in a kindergarten classroom, and I would come in their classroom a lot and volunteer. And after a year of nursing, I just felt that wasn't my calling, and I changed my major to education, and I became a teacher, and now my mother is my classroom aide in my kindergarten classroom.
That's neat. How long has she been your aide?
She's been my aide my whole career.
What do you enjoy most about being your student's very first teacher?
Oh, teaching kindergarten. Kindergarten, I love their innocence. They have such a love of learning. They are such sponges, and they just soak it all in, and they beg for more, and it's just incredible to see where they come and where you take them in the 9 months that you have them. It's unbelievable. It's just so rewarding to watch them grow in the 9 months that you have them under your wings.
What's something that you do in your classroom that your students enjoy or that really gets them excited about learning?
Kindergarten, I especially try to make it very hands-on. We use all the modalities of learning. You try to use their 5 senses. Everything is, they see it, they taste it, they touch it. You just want to transform their learning, take them there. If say for instance we're talking about the beach, I teach thematically, so if we're doing an ocean theme, it's amazing. You take for granted that many children have never seen a beach, been to a beach, touched the sand, feel the sand, so you try to incorporate the curriculum into all facets of
kindergarten. There's a lot of things that they're learning for the very first time, but a lot of experiences that they're having in school that kind of set them on the path for learning in the future. What do you think is the most important thing that your students learn by the end of the year in your classroom?
Just having them learn how to stand in a line, sit on the floor. Kindergarten, you teach all that, and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is kindergarten. A lot of them come in and they've never been in a classroom or been in a cafeteria, used the public restroom. They don't know. So we teach it all, and just setting that foundation of how a classroom is run, and a classroom environment, being friends. Just that whole socialization is a huge part of kindergarten, and just that whole aspect of socializing with peers and that kind of thing. Academics is extremely important, but that is also just as important as.
Well, it's not only your students' first year in school, it's often your parents' first year as well. So how do you get them involved in your students' learning or in the classroom?
I feel for many of the parents, this is their first experience with children coming to school, kindergarten, and the communication is a huge key. Having an open line of communication with the parents. I do a weekly newsletter, which is very successful, that lets the parents know what's going on, not only in the classroom, but in the whole school setting. Being that our school is right here, basically in city schools, we are afforded with many opportunities. We walk to the library once a month, so we get involved with the community. I have numerous parents, at least 5 parents every month that walk with us to the library. We do that every month. We have the opportunity to walk to the newspaper, the journal, and tour that. So just having the parents involved with the community, like I say, kindergarten is very hands-on. We do a lot of crafts and stations, and a lot of the parents will come in and help with that kind of thing as well. But just making sure that the communication line is open, and because like you say, many of the parents, this is their first experience with the school, and they do have a lot of questions, and if they feel that you're open, your communication line is open, then they feel more comfortable coming to you.
Speaking about community, how are you involved in the community or in your children's lives outside of the classroom, and being involved in your students' lives as well?
Yes, we're very involved with after-school activities. Like I said, I have 2 children, so I have a son and a daughter. My daughter is involved with dance. She does Girl Scouts. My son has just started baseball. So being that I live here in Martinsburg and teach right here in Martinsburg, I do see them at the baseball field, at the dance studio, at Walmart, at Chick-fil-A. So yes, having small children, we do get out in the community a lot, and it is nice to see the families that you work with out in the community. My daughter does take dance in Inwood, so we are in the season of Christmas, and this is Nutcracker season, so I am an adult performer with her in the Nutcracker, and I think a lot of our school children do go to that, and our school is going, our second grade is going, so many of the second grade teachers have told me that the kids are very excited to see Miss King perform.
What's one thing that you wish the public understood about teaching or the education profession in general?
We're not only teachers and we teach them academics, but we are moms, we are dads, we are, nurses, nose wipers, shoe tires, we do it all, tooth pullers.
Especially in kindergarten.
We do, and these are not my biological children, but once they've been in my classroom, these are my children, and not only for the year that I have them, but their whole education career. Last year was my first group of kindergartens graduated high school. So I went through the WEBA system and contacted all the ones that were still in the county, and I think there were 9 of them. And I did get responses back from a few, and just to see where they've gone and what they're going to do, and it was such a blessing to hear how they remembered me and what an impact I made on their lives, and it is.
Liz Hammond. She teaches Title I Reading and Math here at Berkeley Heights. Hi, Liz. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine today. How are you?
I'm great, and congratulations on earning your National Board certification.
Thank you. Thank you. It's quite an honor.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been teaching for about 10 years. I worked as an instructional aide for about 3 years. I graduated from West Virginia Wesleyan, did not plan to be a teacher, had a double major in government and business management with a minor in economics. No, that doesn't sound like elementary education at all. Then I got interested in teaching, and I went back and got certified to teach high school math, and decided I would really prefer to work with younger children. So I got certified pre-K through 6, and then I went back and got my master's in reading, and that's when I really began to love what I do.
What is your favorite thing about teaching reading and math to your students? And your students are in grades K through 3, correct?
Yes, they're K through 3. I think my favorite thing about teaching them is seeing their confidence blossom and their belief in themselves, and then once they believe in themselves, they begin to enjoy reading and doing math. It motivates them, and then they will choose harder books, and that is just perpetuating, because as they can read more, they become more proud of themselves, and the more they read, the better they'll get.
Well, you have a lot of things in your room that you use to engage your students or to get them interested in what you're teaching them. Can you tell me what some of these things that you have in your classroom are for?
I know, this looks like an ordinary rose, but it's very captivating to 5-year-olds to
happening to me, and I'm like,
well, and I'm sure you're wondering what we do with this, but it's actually a pointer. And for instance, I could say to the students, okay, today we're studying D. Can you find D on this? And they would go up and they would point to that. And they also like being able to choose which color they get to use at any given day. This is kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch or a Magnadoodle, and I was actually using this with my kindergartners today. One of the things that's difficult for them is being able to generate the letter when you say the sound.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, I say, draw what makes the sound k, and so they would draw C. And if they didn't do it right, it wasn't a bad deal because they could just magically erase it. So a lot of times it's about using highly engaging tools, not so much what you're teaching and changing out the material that you use.
what about this fella?
This is Little Leap, and I don't know, I don't think probably we shouldn't turn him on because he gets really loud. But he does letter identification, and he also does letter sounds, and it's just another tool that with the music and the melody they find a whole lot of fun to use, but it is a learning tool as well.
Some of the activities here at Berkeley Heights that you're involved in that get your students excited about the learning process and also engage parents as well.
Title I provides several parent activities throughout the year. The next one we have coming up is One School, One Book, and that's where we give every person in the school the same book, and then we have questions and do activities, and we have some contests, and the students and classes can win based on their participation, and they really enjoy being a community of readers and talking about the same book. This year we're going to be doing Charlotte's Web, which obviously is the classic. But we've had great success with parent participation, and then at the end of that we're going to have a party that will be like a fair that mirrors what happened in the story. And we did that last year as well, and we had really good participation, and the parents really enjoyed reading with their children at home.
How have some of your experiences as a student influenced the kind of teacher that you've become for your own students in your classroom?
Some of the experiences I had as a student oscillated. There were times that I struggled as a student. I remember I was in elementary school out in California, and they do things very differently on the West Coast than they do on the East Coast. And I had a tutor that would come to the house, and she wasn't real nice, and she would flip these sentences, and you just had to read the sentences faster and faster. So I remember the frustration of that and the drudgery. It was not a very pleasant way to become a better reader. So I know what it's like to struggle and to feel like you're not very well respected. What a lot of our students need, they need those coping skills, and they need for somebody to believe in them and to give them the faith that if they keep trying and don't give up, that they eventually will succeed.
What's one thing that you wish the public understood about what it's like to be a teacher or the education profession in general?
I know a lot of people talk about pay, but I choose to talk about something else. I wish that the public understood that teachers are only a small part of what influences a child's education. Parents and grandparents and all kinds of other people that work with their children have a tremendous impact on those children as much as we do. Yes, we can teach them algebra. Yes, we can teach them to read. I don't expect parents to do that. But I don't want them to diminish the impact that they have. And I wish that the general public understood that educators are just a part of what makes a well-rounded citizen.
That's all for this edition of Be the Difference West Virginia. Join me next time as we learn more about the teachers here in beautiful Berkeley County. Until then, I'm Erin Spinagle, reminding you to be different, but more importantly, be the difference. I'll see you soon.